So we're going to get some perspective on the challenge that Roe v. Wade could face. Well, new tests show that your sunscreen may not be as safe as you think it is. The new warning from researchers and the help that you can find to get better protection. And there are so many types of gummy vitamins these days, but the big question is, do they have the same benefits as a regular vitamin? We're getting you answers on that.
Good evening. Cleanup of the Lightning in a Bottle Festival is underway. The 5-day festival brought artwork, live music, workshops, and thousands of festival goers to the Buena Vista Recreation Center. The Now's Emma Lockhart spoke with one local business in the area and joins us with more on why they say they would welcome the festival back next year.
The Lightning in a Bottle Music and Arts Festival was the first of its kind to come to Kern County, drawing in thousands of people from around the country, with one local business thriving over the weekend because of it.
The highly anticipated Lightning in a Bottle Festival, bringing thousands of festival goers to the Buena Vista Recreation Center this past weekend. The 5-day camping festival showcasing art, live music, workshops, and yoga classes. But before the bright lights and bumping music came to Kern County, some had concerns about the impact the event would have. For one local business owner in the area, she says her business boomed due to LIB's presence in Kern County.
We'd love to have them again, and it was a life experience, you know.
Gurmeet Jaj owns Countryside Market off Taft Highway and Buena Vista, just down the road from the festival grounds. With a gas station and multiple food options, Jaj says the market saw an influx in customers during the time of the festival.
It was good impact, you know. We were very busy, especially Saturday when the traffic backed out, you know, and everybody was hanging around in our parking lot.
A positive experience for one local business, but the entire impact on the county is still being considered. When 23 ABC went to the campgrounds yesterday, there were piles of trash left behind, but the county said the Do Lab, the group that put on the event, was in the process of cleaning it up and has until the end of the week to do so. The county expected the festival to bring $2 to $3 million to Kern County. Those totals are still being calculated, according to county officials. Initial concerns about LIB coming to Kern County were raised about staffing and overall public safety. The Kern County Sheriff's Office brought in extra deputies to oversee the festival. KCSO officials say they are still gathering information on how much money the festival cost the department and how many resources were used. Until then, Jaj is a local voice encouraging the festival to return next year.
I love to have them back because they were so nice. They didn't bother anybody. They were doing their own stuff and very happy people, you know.
Officials say the park is expected to be cleaned up and ready to fully reopen to the public by the 21st. For the Now, I'm Emma Lockhart.
The Bakersfield Police Department is asking for your help tonight to find a man missing out of McFarland. Police say the man that you're seeing right there on your screen is 57-year-old John Wooner, who's the city manager of McFarland. He was last seen yesterday at the Hillcrest Cemetery in Bakersfield. Wooner is described as a Hispanic man about 6 feet tall, 300 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes. He was last seen driving a silver Dodge Durango. Police say at this time he's considered missing under suspicious circumstances. Anyone with information is asked to call BPD at 327-7111. If a wildfire were to sweep through Kern County, threatening your family and your home, would you be ready to pick up and go? Many people aren't, and today the Kern County Fire Department discussed ways you can be better prepared. Over the past 2 years, the state of California has been in a state of emergency during fire season, and now fire officials want people to be better prepared for potential disaster. Aside from county fire crews, there were also members from CAL FIRE, the Forest Service, and the Bureau of Land Management. There, officials said they had already seen 60 fires so far this year, which have burned about 3,000 acres. Interim Fire Chief David Witt says the county has crews and a chopper ready to go, but people can do more to avoid fires in the first place.
A lot of our fires are started by people, whether it be equipment, operating equipment in areas they shouldn't be operating equipment, just negligence with fire in general. And so the less starts we get, the better off we are. And so
Fire officials encourage people to sign up for Ready Kern alerts, which will notify you in cases of emergency. They also say clearing out dead brush on your property and creating defensible space can make a major difference for you and your loved ones. There's a new place in downtown Bakersfield to get a fix for your sweet tooth. Dunkin' Donuts will be opening their new location this week. Officials with the coffee and donut chain say that Dunkin' will be opening up their new location on 23rd Street this Friday. For those people who want to get their cup of joe and donut while staying in the car, you can hit up the drive-thru. This is the second location to open up here in Bakersfield and the third here in Kern County. The store will open up for business this Friday at 5 a.m.
Facebook is introducing new rules for live streaming. That tops our Now newsfeed. The social network says that the people who break the most serious policies will be banned from using Facebook Live for a period in time, for example, 30 days. 2 months ago, you remember the New Zealand mosque shooter live streaming his attack. McDonald's, of course, an iconic American company, and now it's a beacon for tourists in Austria. The U.S. Embassy posting on Facebook, McDonald's will serve as mini embassies. McDonald's staff will be ready to help tourists contact the embassy for any services they need. Well, take a look at this video right here. Rock legend Mick Jagger, he is back working on his moves. Posted this video to Twitter. He is 75 years old and he recently had medical treatment for a reported heart valve issue. Well, as we do get ready for summer, there are a few things you need to know about your sunscreen, and Annie Taylor's here to break it down.
We all need to protect our skin when we go outside, but it turns out your sunscreen may not be good enough. Environmental Working Group looked at more than 1,000 sunscreens, and researchers determined only a third would actually pass safety tests. Some just didn't provide adequate sun protection, and others contain potentially harmful chemicals. So CVS Pharmacy has already made changes to make sure customers are protected. The store no longer sells sunscreens that have an SPF of 15 or lower, and it may be easier, though, to pick out a good sunscreen there because CVS offers dermatologist-approved options. And anytime you're shopping for sunscreen, Consumer Reports say that you need to check the ratings. Make sure it's got an SPF of at least 40. And 2 ingredients every great sunscreen should have are zinc oxide and titanium dioxide. And once you put on the lotion, make sure to reapply every 2 hours. Don't ignore your legs or your eyelids, and you'll want to put on about a palm's worth of sunscreen on your entire body.
All right, Annie, thank you. Let's get back to our lineup. And nurses have been the target of criticism recently, from being told they have time to play cards on the job to questions over what they wear to work. We're taking a look at the changing image of the profession. Yet another state is close to having its own abortion law. This would be the strictest in the country. The Alabama Senate sending a bill to the governor that would ban all abortions except when a mother's health is at stake. Now, it's not clear if she will sign it. Alabama is just one of several states considering or that have already passed laws this year targeting abortions. Now, we talked to several law professors about the bigger picture with all of this. Kero is a Columbia law professor and author of the new book about abortion, terminating pregnancy in 21st century America. She says that these laws are pro-life legal strategy with the goal being to get the U.S. Supreme Court to revisit Roe v. Wade. Now, that could be the argument with really more states now recognizing a fetus as a person, but that may never happen. These laws could be struck down by several courts before they make it to the Supreme Court. And one political science professor that we talked with says it's still a question of whether the Supreme Court would even accept the case if it was to make it there.
The court tends to try to stay out of political issues, and the court also tends to try to avoid overturning longstanding precedent. Now, does that mean they never do? No, of course not. Actually, the court does overturn longstanding precedent. But the court is also really aware that the space that abortion politics occupies in American politics.
Well, right now, the U.S. Supreme Court hasn't agreed to hear any abortion-related cases. Some financial help could be on the way for people taking care of aging loved ones. Now, the Credit for Caring Act was just introduced. It does have support from both parties. It was even endorsed by AARP. Now, it would give a federal tax credit up to $3,000 every year to eligible family caregivers, people that pay for things like in-home care and adult daycare. About 40 million people are caregivers in the country, and an overwhelming amount cover costs on their own. Now, the government's cracking down on nursing homes that go days without an actual nurse being there. Medicare's website, Nursing Home Compare, lets people look up ratings for those facilities. Medicare just gave the lowest rating, 1 star, to more than 1,600 places. Most of them reported no registered nurse at the facility for 4 days or more. Experts say that usually points to a systematic problem within the homes.
A 24-year-old Wisconsin man struck it rich earlier this year when he won a $768 million Powerball jackpot. But rather than keep his wealth to himself, he's deciding to pay it forward with a little human kindness. A woman named Nicole Dimitro was shopping in a Target store in Chicago when she says she was approached by the Powerball winner, Manuel Franco, who offered her a $200 Target gift card with no strings attached. Franco told her that he had offered other families who were shopping the gift card as well, but they turned him down thinking it was a scam. Dimitro says she's grateful for Franco's giving spirit and says she'll be doing the same thing.
I can very easily spend $200 at Target, but my husband and I talked about it, and we are actually going to be gifting it to another family that we know who we think could benefit from it. Not like a struggling family, but they have a baby coming, and I think that it would just be a really cool blessing for their family.
I love that. See, a little human kindness keeps paying it forward. Now, officials say Franco possibly chose to hand out Target gift cards to unsuspecting families because he was a former Target employee. So cool. All right, let's take a look at live at downtown Bakersfield. We've been watching this roof camera shake. You're not seeing things. This is actually happening, and it's these winds, Allison. They've moved in.
Oh, they definitely have. This is ahead of our next storm system that has made its way into Northern California. But earlier today, you felt those noticeably cooler temperatures, as well as that increase in clouds and the strong winds that we are seeing right now, and that will be continuing throughout the evening. So the main portion of this system is still located just off the coast of Northern California, but that's already bringing some heavy rainfall to areas like San Francisco as well as Sacramento. So already seeing those cooler temperatures down 11 degrees from what we were feeling this time yesterday in Bakersfield, down 2 in Tehachapi, and down 13 in Mojave. And these temperatures are only going to continue to drop. But what we are tracking, those strong winds like we were seeing right here in downtown Bakersfield, because look at this, 17-mile-per-hour winds right now, 15 over in Buttonwillow and 17 in Tehachapi and Mojave. So that does actually bring up a wind advisory in the western portion of the valley that began at 5 p.m. this evening, continuing until 11 p.m. tonight. Those gusts could actually be reaching up to 45 miles per hour. And as the storm makes its way through the county, we are going to be seeing those strong winds through the passes in Tehachapi as well as down in our desert cities later this week. But thankfully, good air quality is on the horizon. As long as this storm is in the region, we will have an AQI of 46 here in the valley tomorrow. But as this low pressure system pushes into the county,
County. Early tomorrow, we are going to be seeing heavy rain across the west coast and heavy snow into the Sierras to our north. So by 10 p.m. tonight, that's when that rain is going to be beginning to make its way into the county up near Buttonwillow and Delano. The best chance to see that rain actually going to be here in the valley by the early morning hours tomorrow, and then the chance for isolated thunderstorms as we head into your Thursday afternoon and evening, with those lingering showers by the early morning hours on Friday. And just how much rain will we be seeing here in the valley? Well, anywhere from 1/10 up to 1/4 of an inch, and the mountains could be seeing up to 1/2 of an inch of rain. Temperatures dropping significantly tomorrow. We are going to be holding on to those upper 60s for your Thursday and Friday, and then hanging out in the 70s Saturday through next week. Looks like we are going to have a dry Memorial Day weekend ahead. Chris?
Let's start the Now newsfeed with the Justice Department. They may have just made it easier for states to execute people facing the death penalty. The DOJ ruling that the FDA cannot regulate which drugs are used to carry out the death penalty. They say it just doesn't make sense to rule on whether drugs are safe when they are used to end someone's life. Well, people are suing 3 big tuna brands, accusing them of lying about how they catch their fish. Class action lawsuit accuses Bumblebee, Chicken of the Sea, and Starkist of making people believe that their fishing practices are dolphin safe. The suit points to Whole Foods and Trader Joe's using safer techniques. Big companies responsible for plastic waste are signing onto a program to cut back. The World Wildlife Fund wants to cut plastic waste by 10 million metric tons. Now, a study says the equivalent of a dump truck full of plastic waste goes into water every minute. McDonald's, Starbucks, and Coke, they have all pledged to help. Well, you may remember this woman. She was a woman who was running the London Marathon and was denied the fastest nurse world record because she wasn't wearing a dress. Now, the Guinness World Records, they have reversed their decision on that, but that controversy is starting a conversation about just how the image of nurses has changed. Kamasi Aaron taking a look.
Just from a kid, I always wanted to be one.
Mary Lou Creech has been a nurse for the last 50 years.
Does he need a follow-up?
And a lot has changed over the past decades, especially with her uniform.
I wore the white dress, the white shoes, the white hat. In ICU, that was a nightmare, but that's the way it was, and you just worked around it.
Now she works in scrubs, which is why she was surprised to learn a nurse was denied a spot with Guinness World Records as fastest marathon runner wearing a nurse's uniform because she wasn't wearing a dress.
That's too bad. I mean, it should be the job that they did, not what they're wearing.
Guinness World Records got the message loud and clear. Days later, it reversed its decision, admitting that its guidelines were outdated, incorrect, and reflected a stereotype we do not in any way wish to perpetrate.
We were excited to see that social movement and see this new outcome.
Liz Stokes with the American Nurses Association says the image of nursing has changed, and not just in attire.
It's more diverse than the traditional, what we saw years ago. You know, we're more racially and ethnically diverse. Gender diversity as well as age.
She says this conversation can help to shatter stereotypes, but there's still more work to be done.
Our goal is to hope that we reflect what our patients' population appears to be, and we're not there. So we still have a significant ways to go.
He's going to need an ultrasound done.
Keeping up with an ever-evolving profession. I'm Kamasi Aaron reporting.
A group of hospitals is trying to cut down on the cost of medicines by making them on their own. Now, the drugs will come from the nonprofit Civica RX. The first medications on their list are 2 antibiotics. One of them is known as vancomycin. It treats staph infections as well as other bacterial infections, and the other is called daptomycin, which treats skin infections. They're both in short supply. Civica RX plans on distributing the antibiotics by the end of September. Well, a little glimpse at what you're in for if you are planning to get away for Memorial Day, because AAA is saying that you and about 43 million other people have similar plans. Next Friday and Thursday, those will be the busiest days to drive. Now, as for where to go, Central Florida, the Disney World area, the #1 for activities. That's according to Wallet Hub. Also, Austin, Texas area, DC, Chicago, and the Dallas-Fort Worth area, rounding out the top 5 overall best places to visit this summer. Well, the swimming pool, a place that you'll probably visit in the summertime, it is not a substitute for the shower. And you may think that's something that we already know, that we wouldn't need to say that. But according to the 2018 Healthy Pools Survey, 51% of Americans say that they use the pool as a bathtub. They hop in, maybe after working up a sweat in the yard, but don't actually take a shower afterward. As we say this, we want you to also consider this part, that 40% of those surveyed admitted to peeing in the pool. That is disgusting. All the more reason to take a shower before and after you go in the pool. All right, let's go back to our lineup here. And coming up next, gummy vitamins, they're really popular right now, and you may have made the switch because, let's face it, they just taste better. We're getting answers on whether you really get all the benefits of a regular vitamin. CVS Pharmacy will start testing its vitamins and supplements through a third party to make sure they're safe to use. Now, they'll be tested to confirm for the accuracy of the ingredients and to make sure they don't include any additives. The FDA is also planning to strengthen oversight of supplements. Now, gummy vitamins are really popular right now, but Andy Taylor's finding out if they work the same.
Today, we're testing your knowledge on those sweet candy-like gummy vitamins. We're breaking down the myths. Let's play. Question number 1. What has more sugar, a vitamin gummy or a candy gummy? Surprisingly, they have the same amount of sugar.
Most of them are like 2 to 6 grams per serving, so it's not a terrible amount of sugar. But if you're eating those every day for years, that can add up to a lot of sugar.
On to question number 2. Gummy vitamins have the same amount of nutrients as the pill form. Well, no, they don't. Between the sugar, food coloring, and preservatives and fillers, there's not a lot of room left for nutrients in a tiny gummy.
Look at just a regular store brand pill multi and then compare that to your gummy multi. It's pretty hard to fit all those micronutrients into that gummy, and oftentimes you have to take 2, 3, 4, some are even 6 a day that you have to take to get that full 100% daily value.
Question number 3. If you are not comfortable swallowing a supplement in pill form, doctors recommend gummy vitamins as a great alternative. Well, this is a hard pill to swallow, but no, they never recommend a gummy vitamin, even for kids. A chewable is a better option.
Most adults that eat a healthy diet really don't need to take a vitamin daily. If you've got a micronutrient deficiency and you want to take a certain one like vitamin D or B12 or something like that, that might be something you consider. But
there you have it, folks. Bottom line, save your money on gummy vitamins. If you want candy, buy gummies. And if you need vitamins, buy the real thing. I'm Annie Taylor. Thanks for playing.
All right, Annie, thank you. And look, nobody likes coming out to their car and finding a parking ticket. But what if you learned that it was because someone else turned you in? Tomorrow on The Now, we're going to be checking out a new idea to let regular people take pictures of parking issues they see and issue a ticket.
Well, coming up next after the break, we are seeing these clouds roll in. When exactly we're expecting to see the rain move into the county and how long it's supposed to be here. Up next. Our next storm arrives late this evening, bringing a good soaking for your Thursday morning and the chance for isolated showers Thursday evening with the chance for lingering showers in the mountains on Friday. This is a cold winter system in the middle of May. Yeah, we're feeling it already. That's going to do it for us at 7. We'll see you tonight at 11.